This is CBC Here and Now.
People are right now choosing between, well, I'm going to sleep in the car or in a doorway or in the lobby of a motel.
You still deserve the same amount of care as anybody else.
From Happy Valley Goose Bay to the Northeast Avalon, the struggle to support our most vulnerable people. A downtown armed robbery caught on camera. Some St. John's business owners are worried about safety. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. The provincial government hosted a purple flag raising ceremony this morning to kick off 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. As Here and Now's Ryan Cook reports, the annual Purple Ribbon campaign comes at a time when violence is surging and resources are stretched thin.
My name is Debbie. For people who do not know me, we lost our daughter.
An emotional ceremony at Confederation Building this morning. The Purple Ribbon campaign, aimed at preventing domestic violence, kicked off for another year with Debbie Hibbs speaking about the loss of her daughter. Julianne Hibbs and her fiancé were killed by her ex-boyfriend in 2013.
I strongly urge the government and the judicial system to address the problem of domestic and gender violence more seriously, as this scourge has become a crisis now, more so than ever before.
Meanwhile, at the city's only shelter for women and children fleeing violence, they're seeing a surge in demand like never before. Iris Kirby House is pushed beyond capacity. More women are being turned away than taken in.
We are providing a Band-Aid. We're holding a bandage over a bleeding wound that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We need supportive resources.
Michelle Green says they work well with Newfoundland and Labrador Housing, but could use more help from other departments. The Office of Women and Gender Equality, for example, provides about $3 million for gender-based violence initiatives. Minister Pam Parsons says she wishes they could give more.
I'm always looking for every ounce of support that we can get. There's never enough, if you will, and that comes from all levels of government. The onus is on everyone.
Meanwhile, across town today, preliminary plans were announced for a new affordable apartment complex in the Pleasantville neighborhood. Housing Minister John Abbott was asked about the overwhelming number of women and children fleeing violence.
What's being done right now to address those needs? But we're working with Iris Kirby House as an example to identify the needs here in the Greater St. John's area so that we can build additional capacity for women fleeing violence.
Any affordable housing or shelter commitment is vital, but NDP MHA Jim Dinn says this announcement is of little comfort for people who need it today.
I always figured that was basically a big city problem, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, but we're rapidly getting there if we don't deal with it.
Abbott says there's no timeline for when this vacant lot will become 40 units that are desperately needed by our most vulnerable population, but it won't be tonight. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, Happy Valley Goose Bay is getting its first look at what could be a housing solution for that community's growing transient population. It's a story we've been following on Here and Now. Dozens of people have been sleeping outside in the woods. As Heidi Adder reports, construction could start soon.
Plastic boards show the layout and proposed floor plan. This multi-million-dollar facility has 30 shelter beds, 20 single bedrooms, and 21 bedroom apartments, as well as cultural spaces and a medical clinic. The provincial government is proposing to build this public housing facility in Happy Valley Goose Bay, but it's not a done deal.
We know there's the pent-up need and demand for this facility. We know that the community is supportive, but recognize that there are still questions outstanding.
Some of those outstanding questions were addressed this week's information sessions, including why there's a need for the space. According to the NL Housing Corporation, just 1.6% of the population lives in Happy Valley Goose Bay, but the town accounts for about a quarter of all shelter users in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Our organization fully supports the building of this facility. The addition of more living space, more wraparound services, instrumental in addressing housing and homelessness in this community, and also the root issues of why things are happening the way that they are.
The Nunatuava Community Council wants to see vocational training and cultural spaces highlighted. According to statistics, the shelter sees about 200 people pass through its door each year, 90% of whom self-identify as Indigenous. The local women's shelter shared some of its new initiatives that may be able to be used by the new facility, including a harm reduction room able to accept women who are under the influence.
If you are suffering with mental health and addictions, that you still deserve the same amount of care as anybody else, whether you're sober or whether you're intoxicated. That doesn't define who you are.
The proposal comes after weeks of rallies by residents who want something done about the large number of transient and homeless people living in the wooded trails around town. Council estimates about 80 people are living outside, while the homeless shelter only has beds for 12. The province still has to do a formal proposal to the town for the facility, but Abbott says they hope to begin construction in the spring. Heidi Adder, CBC News, Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
Very happy Friday to you. I'm Heather Gillis filling in for Ashley Brawweiler this evening. We do have a fair bit of weather on the way to tell you about. It is going to be a fairly calm, cloudy evening tonight, and it's going to be chilly for the eastern half of the island. Wind chill values feeling like -9, so if you're going out tonight, bundle up. We have rainfall and snowfall warnings in effect, so the rain will be blanketing across the south coast of the island starting in the overnight for Port aux Basques. Snow tomorrow for the west coast, and then most parts of the island should see showers or a chance of showers on Sunday. Let's take a look at our future tracker now, see how that's all going to shape up. Here you go. This is our calm and cloudy scenario. It's going to be pushing that rain in right here in the early morning hours, which will sweep across the island. We'll tell you all about it, plus amounts a little later in the show.
Thanks, Heather. Well, he's been convicted of abusing women, but a St. John's man was considered a first-time offender during a sentencing hearing today. Kevin Evans admitted to choking and hitting his former girlfriend in Ontario, but as Ariana Kelland reports, Evans won't spend any time in jail.
They share a bond of trauma and circumstance. Both were abused by their former boyfriend, Kevin Evans, and today both are once again questioning a decision by the courts, this time giving a conditional sentence without jail time or house arrest.
Unfortunately, it's not enough in my mind. I think he should have actually gone to prison.
Evans choked and hit Donald. She went to police in 2019, months after her abusive relationship ended. Compelled after learning Evans had a new girlfriend in St. John's. She was worried about the next person. That woman was Lindsay Plank.
We literally lived the exact same life when we went through this experience.
Plank would later go to police as well. So would a third woman. 32-year-old Evans has already spent time in jail for hitting, punching, and choking them both. But today he was sentenced as a first-time offender, lessening the penalty imposed on him. That's because Donald was the first to go to police.
We have clearly seen that he offended back in 2018 when both Jessica and I came forward later that year, and it really is disappointing to see that they didn't take into account the other charges, because clearly this is something that he repeats.
An Ontario judge was satisfied that Evans was working on himself, furthering his education, and is genuine in his efforts to rehabilitate. Despite the abuse being fueled by alcohol and drugs, the judge decided against imposing an alcohol ban. She also opted against the Crown's suggestion of house arrest so that Evans could keep his job. After 4 years, multiple delays, and an unsatisfying sentence, Donald says she would go through it all again, to talk about it, to educate others, and to create an unwavering bond.
She was here to support me and I was here to support her, and just having that sounding board and having that other person that understands what it's like and understands who this person really is just made all the difference in the world. And yeah, I love her and I thank her, and I think it's wonderful that she's here.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
Knives, bear spray, and a hammer. All were weapons used in multiple holdups in downtown St. John's this week. We've been following several reports of robberies, specifically targeting George Street bars and musicians. Two business owners tell us things feel especially dire. They believe criminal activity is increasing, and they're not seeing the same police presence there once was.
Well, years ago, you used to have the street patrol, you know, police walking the beat and all that. There's none of that now. At least I don't know about it.
There's definitely a lot more people. Mental health issues and stuff, drug use, there's definitely a lot more of them downtown. It seems like they've come downtown to hang out because there's a lot of little places they can get in behind. And it doesn't seem like anybody does anything. Like on this George Street stage, all summer there was like 10 people sleeping there. Nobody ever does anything.
We'll return to this conversation in about 25 minutes on Here and Now. Meanwhile, police in St. John's say they've arrested a suspect in connection with a string of recent armed robberies, though not in the downtown area. In each case, the suspect used a weapon to demand cash or other valuables. A 34-year-old St. John's man has been arrested and charged with 6 counts of robbery, as well as theft, fraud, possession of stolen property, and breach of court orders. Well, in other news, the head of the province's English School Board is leaving the job. Tony Stack will retire as Education Director and CEO of the school district at the end of January. Stack took over in 2017. He had previously worked as a teacher and a principal and served for decades in the Canadian military. Stack has presided over a number of difficult situations, like guiding the system through 2.5 years of COVID-19 disruptions. Team Canada plays its second game in the World Cup on Sunday up against Croatia. A lot of fans here supporting Team Canada, of course, since it's appearing at the World Cup for the first time in 36 years. But who else are people cheering for? Our freelance producer Andy Bowman went to Memorial University to ask that very question.
My name is Feli Elonda.
My name is Isabella Herrera.
My name is Boris.
My name is Nicole.
My name is Santiago Herrera. And I'm going for Brazil this World Cup. Argentina, without a doubt.
I'm rooting for Ecuador.
England and France. I want Mexico to win the World Cup. Canada, of course. And Argentina. Senegal as well. You can't miss out Senegal, you know. Any African country that manages to make through, I have to support.
You got to support them. Okay. Andy Bowman. We're here at the Memorial University campus talking to students today about the World Cup. Who in your family is going to be the loudest, just hollering at the TV?
My grandma.
Your grandma?
Yeah. Every World Cup I watch with her and she just goes crazy. Every time. I'm going to be watching it at the Bigs with my teammates, and I would like to give a special shout out to my girlfriend's dad, Dr. Paul Jackman. Big shout out to him, huge sports fan from St. John's, former football player himself.
It's wild to have to say my brother. He's very passionate about football, so yeah, I would love to watch it with him, but unfortunately he's in a different country right now, so yeah.
I guess the person that goes the craziest when watching the World Cup is my mom. She just can't stop yelling, gets nervous, but honestly that is the best vibe that we can get because we all just get very excited. Who goes the most wild?
I'd definitely say my dad.
Your
my
dad?
Yeah, he's the French one in my family, and we watched the World Cup final last year when we won, and he went absolutely mental. When we won the World Cup, he went crazy.
You had a big year, right? You've been playing with the Halifax Wanderers, and that's an under-23 development team for the Canadian Premier League. What was it like to play on that level?
It was incredible. I mean, you grow up, you dream of playing at a high level, and so when that opportunity comes, you just take every minute, every moment as, you know, it was just an incredible experience. Being in that environment, playing at that level was such a blessing.
And where will you be watching the games this week?
This weekend, hopefully at the Brisbane. I know a couple games are being hosted there.
my friend's house. I'm sure I'll be hosting a couple games at my place. But yeah, if I'm just walking in the streets and I see someone watching the game indoors in a strange house, I'm just gonna knock on the door. Hey, can I come join you guys?
I love it.
I mean, that's how we grew up, right? You just, if you see someone hosting a match, you just kind of knock on the door or you just stay on the window. I know it kind of sounds creepy, but that's how things are back home.
Yeah.
It's just normal, right?
How far do you think Brazil's going this year?
I think we're gonna win.
You think you're gonna win?
Yeah, I think we're gonna win.
Would you put money on that?
I already put money on that.
Yeah.
I already put money on that.
Lots of weather on the way. Environment Canada has issued weather warnings, a snowfall warning, a rainfall warning. We'll tell you all about it a little later after this.
Okay, so Heather, a lot of people are crossing their fingers for Sunday, hoping the annual downtown Christmas parade will go ahead in St. John's.
Yep, we're going to talk about that forecast in a few minutes. but there's a special holiday workshop happening on Signal Hill Road that we want to tell you about first. It's tucked behind the Geo Center, and there are 2 designers there busy crafting a festive animatronic float for the parade.
Interesting.
Yeah. CBC Radio's Gavin Sims swung by to check it out. Take a look.
We started this in August, so the concept was whittled down from the original idea by Dennis here, and took off from there.
Each one of these elves, their heads are started off as just a regular foam head that you would see in a department store, and then they were coated, they were built up with automotive body filler, they were sculpted by Andrew here. So each one of these elves are as much of a piece of art as they are a little elf. But yeah, we basically agreed on the idea and the concept, and then we knew it was going to be a Santa's workshop, so we started playing with that, and then we wanted to work in the 6 campuses of MUN, so we were like, okay, how are we going to do that? And we wanted to be an interactive, but not too in your face as well. Like, you don't want it to be a big grandiose thing of like, woo, us and what we're all about. So it had to be subtle, and I think that we achieved this with these graphics. It's quite simple, and yeah, and the elves are just so engaging. They're just working away. They don't stop.
Are you guys afraid at all that you're gonna upstage Santa come Sunday?
No, I mean this is his people. So I mean, how can he turn on his own elves?
If anything, we're lending to Santa's presence, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Just how they don't stop. I think that speaks volumes about how much respect they have for Santa. And fear.
Fear. Oh my God, that's so good. So cute. Yeah, and you can hear more about the work that they're doing at the Signal Hill campus, and that's coming up on CBC Radio's Weekend AM. So how is the weather looking? Will those elves have to be like waterproof?
We'll see. When I was talking to Environment Canada earlier today, they said there isn't a lot of agreement on the models at this point. There is rain in the forecast, but it looks like right now, fingers crossed, it could be okay. But it's like a regatta, go or no go. It's it's hard to say.
Probably find out the morning of.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was a lot of wind last night that I would like to tell you about. So we had a lot of wind. I don't know about you, but it definitely woke me up in the middle of the night. And at the St. John's Airport, we had a gust of 110 kilometers per hour. I think that's the one that shook my house for sure. And you can see that here right now. And in Musgrave Harbor, they had even higher winds at 131 kilometers per hour. Bonavista topped out at 142 kilometers per hour. Fogo Island, 169 kilometers per hour. That was from a private weather station. So needless to say, really windy last night. Wanted to tell you about those totals. Now, our current temps and our wind chill value, around 0, 1, 2 degrees right now in the East Coast. That's going to feel like -9 by the time we get into the overnight. So going to get very chilly, especially up here in Labrador with your wind chill values overnight, as cool as -15 for Labrador. The watches and the warnings. We have some snowfall warnings for the West Coast, for Corner Brook, for Gross Mourne, for Green Bay, White Bay, and down here along the south coast of the island, this is all rain. So we're going to get about 15 to 20 centimeters of snow, and that's especially going to be in areas of higher terrain. Elsewhere, it's going to be rain, where we could get 40 to 60 down here for the southwest coast. And as we go a little further east, it looks like we'll get a little bit less. It could be 30 to 50, where there's a special weather statement for the Burin Peninsula. Let's take a look at our future tracker now. We'll see all that rain that is on the way. So it looks like things should start in earnest for the southwest coast around 3 o'clock this morning. If you see it, it looks like it's going to be snow, especially over higher terrain here for the West Coast. In behind it is the rain, and that's going to bring big rainfall totals to the south coast here, and that snow for the West Coast. And you can see here, Saturday, 11 a.m., it looks like we could have a little bit of rain. It will be a bit windy. It looks like winds will be gusting 60 kilometers per hour if we're taking a look at that. So let's take a look at tonight a little bit closer. 2 degrees and Cloudy skies here in St. John's. It'll be pretty cloudy for most of the island and clear ahead of all that precipitation that is coming our way. A few more clouds down here on the Burin Peninsula and for the southwest coast. Here you go. You see some of those showers and rain activity. You'll be picking up 2 millimeters of rain here in the overnight. Decent night here, nice and clear with some clouds for the Straits, the Northern Peninsula on up to the coast of Labrador. But once we get into Happy Valley Goose Bay, we'll start to see some flurries for you folks overnight, -9, flurries in Nain as well. And we will have some snow, -10 for Labrador City Wabash area. You know, here we go. We see that snow and rain pushing across the island. So here we go, 1 o'clock Saturday. I think the parade gets underway around noon, so it looks like here on this part of the Avalon Peninsula we might be okay, but we'll see what the weather gods have in store for us tomorrow as all that rain moves over the island into Saturday evening and into the overnight. Taking a look at tomorrow now, your Saturday, it looks like we could have a few showers here in St. John's, 5 degrees for most parts of the Avalon, 7 down here in Marystown where we could pick up 5 to 10 millimeters of rain, 4 degrees, mix of sun with some showers possible for you in Bonavista as well. Terra Nova, it looks like we could get some showers as that system passes through the island tomorrow late in the afternoon for you folks. Temps 3-4 degrees. But as we go a little bit further west, we start to pick up a snow rain mix here in Grand Falls, Windsor. You could have 2 millimeters of rain, 2 millimeters of snow. And here you go. This is where the mess is for the west coast. Lots of rain for the south coast. And here you go. You see your snow. But as we move into the Northern Peninsula, it looks like it will have less snow for you guys, and we will get into some flurries for the coast of Labrador and into Happy Valley Goose Bay. Clear though and cloudy in Churchill Falls, and you could have some flurries in Labrador City. Now here we go. This is our metro outlook for tomorrow for the parade. It looks good around noon. 3 o'clock when, you know, Santa is making his appearance downtown St. John's, you could have a shower, but we'll have to see how that all goes. We'll take a look at your long range forecast later in the show.
We've been hearing about musicians who work in downtown St. John's who have been mugged and who are scared to walk to and from gigs. Well, some bar owners are also concerned about downtown safety. Just here the other night, Tuesday night at Lucy's Bar, a man came in with bear spray and a knife, walked around this pool table and sprayed everyone and then stole thousands of dollars worth of cash. And this wasn't the only bar that was robbed this week. We'll also speak to the Rock House. That's coming up. This week about safety downtown. We heard about one musician who was mugged and others who are nervous walking to and from gigs. Well, businesses are also suffering. On Sunday night, there was an armed robbery using a hammer at this Mary Brown's restaurant on Water Street. Monday night, the Rock House Bar was held up. And then on Tuesday, customers and staff at Lucy's Bar on Duckworth were sprayed with bear spray. I spoke with some of the business owners to find out what happened. Walk us through what happened the other night.
Well, my girl, she was getting ready to close, and in come Buddy, and he ran up here, and he sprayed everybody with bear spray. Then went behind the bar and broke open one cash, threw it on the floor and broke it. Then he opened up the other cash and grabbed the money out of that, and then ran out. Now, the girl, she was choking, and one of the customers, you know, it was pretty bad stuff. And I could still feel it yesterday after my young fellow cleaned up the place, and it was a mess. Yeah, frightening for the girl.
Yeah. How is she doing now?
Oh, she's doing all right. Yeah. She'll be working tomorrow night, I think.
How much did he get away with?
Oh, a few thousand. You know, mostly lotto money, right? And some guy just come in and cripple up a couple of people with bear spray and a knife. You know, it's not right.
So he had a knife as well?
Yeah, broke off knife.
So Colin, can you tell us what happened here on Monday night?
Well, we got held up, and it was about 11:30 at night. We normally close around 12 o'clock during the weeknights. And bartender was working. He was getting ready to close up his cash. A couple of young fellas that we saw on the camera walked by, and they came in, and they ran in, both of them with knives, and took the money out of the cash, took the young fella's wallet, and they ripped all the electronics out. And they were gone in 37 seconds. So it happens very quick.
Yeah, that's very fast. And so what did they get away with?
They never got much out of our till, but the bartender had his rent in his pocket, so they took his wallet. So he lost the most, but we're going to help him out as best we can.
How much total was that?
I'd say about 600. Yeah.
How is he doing now?
He's pretty shaken up, you know.
You work hard to get somewhere, and somebody just takes it away for what, a bit of dope or whatever he's using it, you know. And well, it's not right.
We've been hearing a lot of stories lately from musicians who are nervous about walking to and from gigs. Do you have any thoughts on what could be done to help make people safer and perhaps deter these kinds of robberies?
Well, years ago you used to have the street patrol, you know, police walking the beat. No, there's none of that now. At least I don't know about it. And I mean, years ago, the only problem you had was a bar fight and stuff like that. And gee, the police usually were Johnny on the spot. Now break it up, boys, and all that. You know, and lose their paid to be here or whatever. You know, but now, they're out to kill you. And they got no fear.
So you would like to see more police on patrol downtown?
Yeah, especially George Street. Because that's not George Street anymore, not the way I used to know it. You know, you had your odd fight and stuff like that. But now, the musicians have a good thing going, that they're frightened of this and frightened of that. I don't blame them.
And you've been working in the bar industry for a long time, right? Downtown?
Yeah, very long time.
Have you noticed that things are different these days compared to years past, or have you noticed any changes?
There's definitely a lot more people of that type of person, mental health issues and stuff, drug use. There's definitely a lot more of them downtown. It seems like they've come downtown to hang out because there's a lot of little places they can get in behind. And it doesn't seem like anybody does anything. Like on this George Street stage, all summer there was like 10 people sleeping there. Nobody ever does anything. So.
What do you think should be done?
Well, they need help. That's the first thing. What kind of help? I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so I have no idea. But if they're doing petty crime, there's got to be something that can be done for them. What they're doing now is not working. It's just getting worse. So scrap what they're doing and start with something fresh.
Yeah. And when you say they, do you mean the police or?
The police hands are kind of tied. I mean, they arrest them, they do a report, it goes to court to get, suspended sentence, they get out, they get a couple of months. Most people just nothing really happens.
And some people say that maybe the solution would be a bigger police presence in the downtown area, more patrols to act as more of a deterrent. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, more patrols downtown aren't going to work unless they get out of the cars, for starters. We've been talking about this on George Street for as long as I can remember, asking for a bigger police presence. Doesn't work. Never has, never will. So, police presence does nothing. Burns gas in cars, I guess. They don't stop anything. I don't know. That system is not working. So that's another system. Just scrap it. Like I've always said for George Street, let the bar owners do their own security on the street.
Have private security.
Yeah. We have our own security in our bars. You don't hear too much mischief in the bars. It all seems to happen outside the bars. So we have to tell our bartenders, we have panic buttons put in, we have, make them more aware, lock the door before you go at any machinery type of thing. Just small little things. But I mean, the bartenders are nervous. I don't come to work to get stabbed or somebody to pull a gun on me, which is going to happen eventually. It's going to get worse.
You think it's going to get worse?
Well, if the guns get stolen, somebody's going to show up with something.
The Spirit Song Festival is wrapping up this weekend in St. John's. The festival saw Indigenous artists from across Canada performing in a celebration of Indigenous art and culture. Here's a look at some of the week's events and what the festival means to performers.
We should do a circle song right here. We got lots of room.
My name is David Hart. I am from Shihajit and I'm a singer and I'm also a motivational singer. And I've been performing for quite a few years. I left home, Shihajit, and I live in Quebec City now for the past 13, 14 years. And I've been performing all over Canada, basically. What I do before performance, I always pray. I pray and I ask God. I said, you tell me what I want, what I should do tonight, and bringing people together. It's one of the things that I like to do, because a lot of ways since COVID's been opening up, and I know people wanted music and we struggle with it, but now being back here and doing a show, and when people come in together like that to show love, it builds the energy as an entertainer and helps you to love what you do, because it's the people that make you love what you do and to keep moving forward with the music.
My piece is called Step In, and it's sort of my cultural sharing work that I've performed many times all over Turtle Island, and this is the farthest east that I've actually ever performed it. So the work is about my relationship to social dance. It's a solo work, so I do some engagement with the audience. It's very high energy, very up-tempo, and it has an original sound score and Métis fiddling, and I don't know, it just always really gets me going, and it's such a joy to share the gift of dance and how it's a healing practice, and just really joyful, I guess, yeah.
Music for me is like the one place that I know that I'm like directly connected to Creator.
It's the story of a warrior. He ain't love to feel sorry for. It's the story of a warrior. True love is Victoria.
Yeah, music is medicine, and it's just been something that's been so crucial in my healing journey and my medicine walk. And I think, all the things that we face as Indigenous people, I think all of that is just like embodied in every chord that I play and every note that I sing, and for me, it's just about that process of reclamation. When I'm singing and I close my eyes and I'm tapped into Creator, it's just like, such an important part of that reclamation process for me.
We're made up of sticks and stones.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
Some
One of the songs I sang was, the very first one was a Creator song. I really loved it when I first heard it. It just hit me. And I had to sing that song. I have to sing that song in order to get the people's, spirit, uplift their spirit. And to think, yes, there is something that we have to be thankful for. We have to be thankful for the life that we have, and to be thankful for the elders who had given us all the dances and all the ceremonies what we have, because I've heard the ancestors say, we hear you and we heard you and we are happy because you were singing the songs again. They are happy and we're singing them again. And this is the time. This time now is the time that we have to take back everything. We have to take back our voice, take back our songs, our ceremonies, our everything.
So many passionate performances. Well, Miracle on 34th Street is coming to the Holy Heart Theatre. Students at the school are performing the play tonight and tomorrow. It's the first Christmas play the students have performed since the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hi, my name is Julia Drover-Crane, and I'm playing Doris Walker in Miracle on 34th Street. I'd say this show is about finding your true believing, and truly being able to believe in something, and being able to change people's minds, and finding your true meaning of Christmas.
So I'm the stage manager for the Holy Heart Main Stage Company's production of Miracle on 34th Street. So my job is to make sure cues happen when they're supposed to happen, like actors entering or light changes or sound effects, things like that. It's not hard, it's busy, I'd say, but it's a good kind of busy. Like there's always something to do, which is fun because there's a lot of things to think about and a lot of coordination that has to happen between each thing. But it's a good kind of like organization, almost a game for me, which is really fun.
I think there's definitely nerves that come with it, but it's a matter of being more excited for this production that we get to show off to people, and being less nervous about the fact that there are people in the audience, and being more excited to share this story that we've created.
I don't know, I always liked puzzles and like problem solving in that kind of way, so it's generally just like a life-size puzzle, if that makes sense, like getting to make sure that everything fits where it's supposed to go. And it's just kind of satisfying to me when it does happen right, that it all just goes how it's supposed to go.
Coming up on Monday on CBC Radio St. John's Morning Show, hear from an organizer at Memorial University who's looking for families to sign up for the International Student Christmas Program to pair local families with students here for the holidays. Let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 59th anniversary to Wilfred and Jermaine Whittle of Placentia. Congratulations to Bob and Charlotte Bull of Gambo on their 53rd anniversary. Wishing Lloyd and Jane Clark a very happy 63rd anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary to John and Maxine Arnold of Glovertown. Congratulations to Alice and Howard Lomond of Corner Brook. They're celebrating 65 years of marriage. Happy 64th anniversary to Frank and Mabel Coates of Stephenville. Happy 65th anniversary to Bob and Rosemary Moore of St. John's. Wishing Purdy and Velma Petton of Coley's Point a happy 53rd anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Wilfred and Betty Leto, who are celebrating 59 years together. Congratulations to Wally and Judy Russell of Carmenville, who are marking 53 years of marriage. Happy 52nd anniversary to Wayne and Roxine Winter of Glenwood. Wishing Jen and Pat Butler of St. Mary's a happy 53rd anniversary. Happy anniversary to Milton and Doreen Wells. They're celebrating their 56th. Happy 50th anniversary to Lorna and Carmen Cull of Broad Cove, Conception Bay. Congratulations to Donald and Mabel Best of Fogo, who are celebrating their 62nd anniversary. Happy 59th anniversary to Edna and Eric Reed of Port aux Basques. Happy 53rd anniversary to Jean and Robin Noseworthy in Mount Carmel. Herb and Vera Butler of Paradise are celebrating their 56th anniversary. Happy 59th anniversary to Cliff and Evelyn Thomas of Grand Falls, Windsor. It's a golden anniversary for Clyde and Edith Squires of Buckins Junction. Ambrose and Marina Lovelace of Seal Cove are celebrating their 66th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Harold and Nellie Moore of Maddox Cove, who are marking 57 years of marriage. Happy 59th anniversary to Claude and Mildred Banfield of Salt Pond, Buren. Wishing Arthur and Rita Rideout of CBS a happy 56th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Harry and Eileen Noseworthy of Botwood. It's their 62nd today. Golden wedding greetings to Verna and Alistair Budgell of Cottrell's Cove. Now to some birthdays. Birthday greetings going out to Sydney Guy of Leading Tickles, who's celebrating his 95th birthday. Happy 91st birthday to Jim Gulliver of Portugal Cove. Happy 91st birthday also to Mildred Powell in Gander. Father John Peddle is also turning 91. He's in Carbonear. Birthday greetings going out to Edith Piercy of Burgeo, who's celebrating her 92nd birthday. Wishing Blanche Skinner from Greats Cove a happy 91st birthday. Happy 90th birthday to Alice Reddick Short of Harbor Grace. Best wishes to Dorothy Hillier of Southbrook on her 93rd birthday, and ending on a big one, happy 107th birthday to Hercilia Moores from Brigus, now living in Clark's Beach. She still knits finger puppets for the Janeway. Hope you have a wonderful day. Another fine crowd, 107.
Wow.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Yes. So we're going to back up a little bit and talk about the Christmas parade again.
Carolyn, I just got so excited that Santa is coming in 1 month from today that I was talking about the forecast for Saturday. The parade is on Sunday. I knew that. Let's take a look at the future tracker a little closer to look at all that rain. So it looks like by the time the Santa Claus parade will start at noon, all that rain should be moving off. But like I said, Environment Canada said there isn't a lot of agreement in the models right now, so they need a little time for those to shore up to have a little bit more certainty just about when all of this rain will push offshore so Santa can come and wave from the air. Let's talk about Saturday evening now. You see that rain, it's going to push off in the overnight and into the afternoon. And on Sunday, it looks like for most parts of the island, we will see showers or a chance of showers, but temperatures look like they're going to be a lot more mild on Sunday, which would be good for the Santa parade, of course, in St. John's. 7 degrees in St. John's, 9 down in Marystown, 5 from Gander to Corner Brook. Getting a little bit chillier as we go into St. Anthony and the Straits, and of course we're dropping down into the minus digits in most places of Labrador, with some flurries for many parts of Labrador. On into Monday, when we start our work week, it looks like a lot of that precipitation is going to move off, but there's some new stuff coming on in. So it looks like we will have some showers here on the east coast of the island and some rain for St. John's and Marystown. A bit of a mix as we go up from the Conagra Peninsula to, say, the west side of the Bonavista Peninsula. Temperatures too. Looks like some snow rain mix for parts of the west coast. Some flurries for St. Anthony and into the Straits. But it looks like we're going to have some clearer skies with some sun and cloud into Labrador. -4 for Happy Valley Goose Bay and in Nain, but a bit chillier in Labrador City Wabash area at -10, and a few flurries for you folks on Monday. Looking at our 5-day forecast now for the East Coast, it looks like we've got a fair bit of precipitation now with us throughout the weekend and into Monday. It looks like a bit of a mix there on Tuesday until we see clear skies again on Wednesday. Temperatures starting out quite mild for Saturday and for Sunday, like we just spoke about, but dropping off as we go into midweek next week, with our overnight lows dipping down into the minus digits as we get into the middle of next week. For central Newfoundland now, it looks like we're going to have a snow rain mix on Saturday, chance of showers on Sunday, and a snow rain mix on Monday possible as well, with a chance of flurries on Tuesday before you see clear skies again. Temperatures dropping down into the minus digits into the overnight for you, looking like chilly Tuesday, Wednesday. Things looking very similar for western Newfoundland. Your temperatures looking very similar as well. On into Labrador now. It looks like for eastern Labrador, you'll have a few flurries on Saturday, a chance of them again on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, going back to work, looks nice, but it's going to be cool. And then for western Labrador, it looks like you're going to have a chance of flurries every day except for Tuesday. Your temperature is getting quite chilly in the overnight and into the minus digits for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. And here you go. This is our weather photo. Mother Nature doesn't know what to do. There's some sun, there's some cloud, there's some snow. And this one comes to us from George Tucker. And this was taken in Portland Creek. And that's just on the Northern Peninsula. And if you have any weather photos to send to us, you can send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, great shot. All right, so once again, I guess keep your eye out for whether the Christmas parade will go ahead on Sunday, weather dependent. And then next Saturday, December 3rd, we have the Christmas parade in Corner Brook. So we're getting into parade season now. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend.
Good night.